Hello there, my name is Pavo, and now we'll unveil the top news of recent days. Volodymyr Zelenskyy held a number of meetings during his trip to the USA. In particular, the president of Ukraine met with Chancellor of Germany Olaf Scholz, with whom he talked about how to make a just peace closer. The main thing is to maintain unity. Together with Germany, the countries have saved thousands of lives, and we can definitely provide more strength and security for the whole of Europe. During the meeting with the Secretary General of the Organization of American States, Luis Almagro, politicians discussed in detail how to maintain the unity of the world community for the sake of peace and the effectiveness of global efforts. Together with Prime Minister Fumio Kishida, the president discussed the situation in the energy sector. Restoring our energy supply after Russian shelling and preparing for winter are tasks countries are actively working now on. Zelensky also held bilateral meetings with Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi, the third one this year. The main focus during the conversation was strengthening cooperation at international platforms, in particular the UN and the G20, as well as the implementation of the peace formula and preparation for the second peace summit. Zelensky also met with the president of Paraguay, Santiago Peña. They spoke about security challenges and the results of the first peace summit. Ukraine wants to end this war and restore a just peace as soon as possible, and the support of Latin American countries is important for us. And Zelensky met with the American Ukrainian community and the bipartisan delegation of the United States Congress. Now, at the end of the year, we have a real opportunity to strengthen cooperation between Ukraine and the United States. Decisive action now could hasten the just end of the Russian aggression against Ukraine next year. Our victory plan will help bring Russia to peace in practice. American leadership plays a critical role in protecting freedom around the world. And most importantly, Zelensky began a series of speeches at the UN. The first speech was at the plenary session of the Future Summit. The president of Ukraine noted that the world needs a peaceful future and stable development, and that is why we are now preparing for the second peace summit, advancing together with our partners step by step, according to the peace formula.
The world needs a peaceful future and sustainable development. And I say this as the president of Ukraine, a country resisting Russia's brutal colonial aggression. And we know exactly how much global unity can achieve both here at the UN and through the peace summits for Ukraine, where we aim to overcome the destructiveness of Russia and its accomplices.
Already today, Volodymyr Zelensky will speak at the meeting of the UN Security Council on the maintenance of peace and security of Ukraine. High-level briefing on the security situation in our country called by the United States, France, Japan, Malta, Republic of Korea and the United Kingdom. Watch the broadcast on the meeting today on our UATV live channel. British Foreign Secretary David Lammy has called on Ukraine's allies to show courage in their military support for Kyiv. He did not directly address the issue of Western strikes on Russia, but his comments came amid a heated debate about lifting the US ban on such actions. Lammy said that the challenges facing Ukraine would become deeper and more severe over the next year of the war, which would be towards the end of 2025 and into 2026. Therefore, for allies back in Ukraine now is a critical moment to show courage, fortitude. The Guardian notes that these comments were likely aimed at the hesitant White House, concerned about the risks associated with allowing Britain's Storm Shadow missiles to be used to strike Russia. Lammy added that Ukraine and its Western allies were discussing what more might be needed to help the Ukrainian armed forces on the battlefield. There is now a very specific and ongoing discussion between allies about how partners can support Ukraine ahead of the winter. Ukraine's top allies should stop hesitating in helping the country fight back against Russia and allow the armed forces of Ukraine to use all the weapons they receive to strike deep into the Russian Federation. This was also stated by the Prime Minister of Denmark, Mette Frederiksen, in an interview with Bloomberg Television. My proposal, let's end the discussion of red lines, Frederiksen said, saying that it was a mistake during the war to have a public discussion of red lines because it gave the Russian side an advantage. At the same time, Frederiksen rejected any suggestions that in the end of long-range strikes on the Russian Federation being allowed, there would be an escalation that would involve Kyiv's allies in the war. At the same time, NATO Secretary General Jens Stoltenberg noted that if Ukraine is allowed to hit targets in Russia with long-range Western missiles, it is wrong to say that NATO allies will become a party to the conflict. North Korea and Iran provide significant military support and supply missiles and drones to Russia without becoming a direct party of the conflict, he recalled. According to him, Putin understands no nuclear war. The military consequences of permission to strike deep into Russian territory we'll discuss with Ivan Stupak, a military expert and former officer of the Security Service of Ukraine. Hello and welcome.
Hello, and thanks for having me.
Greetings, it is pleasant to see you again in our studio. And Mr. Stupak, at first we would like to discuss the significance of Ukrainian strikes on two main strategic arsenals of Russian warehouses of ammo and shells in Tver region.
Yeah, indeed. Last week, they were destroyed approximately from 2 up to 3 the biggest warehouses located on European part of Russia Federation. I have to say there were 3 of 7 biggest warehouses. According to our official statements, on these warehouses were stored lots of different military equipment. For instance, lots of glided bombs, ballistic missiles supplied from Iran and North Korea, lots of artillery rounds, and what else? And different other ammunition. And all these warehouses, 3 warehouses, were totally eliminated by Ukrainian strike. Exactly right now, we don't know what kind of strike it was. I mean, we don't know where this just the plain simple drones, which are commonly used by Ukrainian side, or it was some kind of new game-changing weapons such as Palyanytsia drone equipped not with piston engine but with jet engine. But nevertheless, the impact of this strike is significant, and the outcomes could be ever seen from the space.
See, these strikes were presumably made by Ukrainian weapons. As you said earlier, it could be Palyanytsia. Either it was a great luck of Ukraine hitting with regular drones, open warehouses, or we have some kind of a wonder weapon still secret. But yet, can we perceive these strikes with solely Ukrainian weapons as a message to Western leaders? Look what we can do with our scarce numbers of missiles and drones. Imagine what would happen if you allow us to use ATACMS and Storm Shadows deep into Russia.
I'm not sure, to be honest with you. I will explain why. I do believe that some Western leaders, they were afraid when they saw the outcomes and the result of a Ukrainian strike, because some analytics and some experts, they compare the outcome of this strike in kilotons. So they counted that the total result was equal to 30 kilotons. Sorry, it's my fault. 30 kilotons, and they compared with nuke bomb, which was dropped on Japan in 1945, but they were only 15 kilotons, so twice bigger the result. So I do believe that on the West, they are afraid of this result. They're afraid of potential outcomes, and they're afraid of some unexpected steps from the Russian side. So I don't believe that will force Western allies to increase supplying some munition. Very precise munition and long-range munition to Ukraine. So we have to rely only on our self-military industry.
So you believe that even such results and the Kremlin's silence about those explosions will not convene and will not convince our partners that it is necessary to deprive Russia of the physical possibility to wage war of their ammunition.
You're absolutely right, because there are lots of changes are coming in Western world. For example, everyone is expecting for president election in United States, which have to start on November, and some changes in Germany. So and also plus problems with budget. We are not totally sure about what military aid, what military support will be voted in United States. And recently, German Chancellor, Mr. Scholz, he also stated that the gap in the budget, Germany budget, is about 16 billion euros. So we have to rely only on ourselves.
We had like an attempted answer from Russia, a test of the nuclear intercontinental missile Sarmat, which allegedly exploded during start. Do you think that was a hand of the West, or maybe it was some kind of a Russian traditional malfunction in everything they have, but still it was an intimidation attempt, and it obviously failed, exploding in their launch site?
Option number two, it was a traditional Russian malfunction, and as far as I know, it was only the fourth malfunction and problem with launching this missile in a row. So I will expect that they try to do more and more launches until they will succeed. But nevertheless, we have to change our focus on a place which is called Novaya Zemlya. It's a place located in Barents Sea, not so far away from Norway, from Finland, where Russia Federation conducted some military exercises last week. And we also know that in this location, particularly on this place, on this site, Russia's previously Soviet Union and now Russia Federation are trying to conduct nuke drills, real nuke drills. We're not sure about the size of this explosive, but I do believe they will do it maybe this year, maybe next year. It's not only just to destroy someone. It's just a way to intimidate European leaders and the Western leaders, to say, look, we've got a nuke weapon. You can see this explosion, the first nuke drills in 21st century with HD quality, ultra HD quality, which will be filmed from different locations. And I do believe that in this way, Kremlin will intimidate European Union and Western allies, that stop supplying weapon to Ukraine and just force Ukraine to give up to Russia.
Hopefully that will never come true. And thank you for being with us, joining and sharing your insights. Thank you again. That was Ivan Stupak, a military expert and a former officer of the Security Service of Ukraine, joining and sharing his thoughts on the current drills of Sarmat missile. That concludes our today's video. Thank you for watching. Stay updated, comment, like and subscribe to our UATV English channel for more news from Ukraine, because it is your support that really matters for us. Goodbye.